You know, your preachers won't even sell you the truth. You pay them good, and they won't even sell you the truth for the money you give them. And here I am in a position where I can't sell you lies. So they have churches, driver's licenses, homes, cars. Some of them have boats and wear gold. They have musical equipment, church buildings, ministries at their disposal. They can send people to go help the animals at the animals shelter and feed homeless people. You know, if they were inclined to do so, their flocks would get involved in stuff that would sow good seeds on their lives and cause them and their church to be blessed, right? I mean, if I had a church, and you'd know the truth. And I'm saying this because I recently talked to a guy, a really nice guy, who's been going to church and he's completely dumbed down. He doesn't know anything. He thinks Lucifer is still here on the planet. He doesn't know Lucifer was taken out of the way 2,000 years ago. He doesn't know the basics about how the planet began. That God changed the times. So, some people, they think the planet's only 10,000 years old. No, that's the era of man. You know, the planet, God changed the time. So the first day with God could have been billions of years. The second day shortened the times down to millions of years, and so on until we reach this proper scale that we're at now. That 1,000 years here is one day with God, right? Now, if you don't know the beginning, that hey, God on the sixth day created man and woman, all the races, and they were all good, including the black race. Okay, for you freaks who want to say that the black race came about by some curse. No, you're foolish. Don't know what you're talking about, and you're racist. It's like all the races were good. There was only one race God forgot about. He did it on purpose. He took his seventh day hiatus. It was as 1,000 years. So those races were already on the planet for 1,000 years before Adam and Eve, the eighth day creation, were created. Before Eve was beguiled by Satan, and had sex with him. You see, and spawned non-paternal twins, Cain and Abel. Cain being Satan's child, and Cain had to go marry someone that was in a land that was already there. Okay, the land of Nod. Okay, see, everything's not wrote down in the script. I mean, people who make movies, some of them keep right to the script, but there's a whole lot that's not in the script that ends up on film. Well, that's what this story is. Okay, in the beginning, God created man and earth, and then the next phrase isn't the next second. It could be billions of years later. Think about it. You know, it's like when you're looking at a scene of a movie and it fades out, and then the next scene that comes in, it's not immediately the next second. It could be days later. It could be the next night. It could be hours later. You see, so that's what you're looking at. You don't know how it began, so you can't know how it's going to end. Why does Christ come at a time when you look not for him? Because you think he's already here. Why is it as in the days of Noah? Because the fallen angels are having sex with the women again. Okay? Why did the tribulation get shortened down from 7 years to 5 months? So there could be no discrepancy about what the impregnation was, that it's a spiritual impregnation and not a physical impregnation. Because, yeah, some of those bitches are going to get impregnated, but this time they ain't going to have to die spawning giants because they're not going to be allowed to carry the full term. You see? What else do I need to clarify? Obviously. Okay, the sub spirits. Your preacher ain't teaching you about the sub spirits. They got Lucifer and the devils are still here and they're behind every doorway. The fallen angels and Lucifer had bodies. The fallen angels that would not go back before the flood of Noah got killed in the flood. They had bodies. The reason that this flood of Noah had to happen, just so you understand about, the giants legend. It's not a legend. There really were giants on this planet. But they came about by women having sex with the angels, the fallen angels, and then a couple generations down, the first generation they were big, but then a couple generations of them having sex with just each other because they're bigger, they ended up even bigger. Well, then that DNA took over where it's not the human DNA in it anymore. There's very little of it. So they became mean, violent, hateful, rapey, like headhunters. They could just go in and rape and pillage the humans, that mentality. And they were having sex with animals and spawning with them, which is something that human man can't do, but they can. Okay? So it's like God wanted that out of it. So, yeah, the flood of Noah wiped out all who would not comply. Lucifer was the only one with an interdimensional pass where he, as it's described in the book of Job, could go back and forth between heaven and earth. The home realm and the realm here in this mechanism. We're in a simulation mechanism. It's a spirit scan. Our bodies are temporary, okay? If you live to be 50 years old, you've only been here probably an hour. I forgot the tabulation. A kid figured it out for me years ago and I forgot it. But it's like, I had it down. Hey, if I live to be 50, I'll be here how long? And, okay, 1,000 years on planet Earth is as one day with God. But we don't know what that one day is, how many hours it is, you see. Now, I think I had her figure it out to be, hey, just put it to a 24-hour day since he used 1,000 years, right? So I'd have to have a college kid whose mind's not fried out like mine figure it out for me again. And, one of you do it. It'd be nice if you give it to me because, I'm thinking that I've been here less than an hour. I've been here 50 years, almost 51 now. Okay, so you know how it began now. Okay, the fall, and you know how it's going to end. That Lucifer's coming back here pretending to be Jesus Christ, and he's going to finish off the final sifting. Okay, the sun will rise in the west. A lot of evil prophecies didn't have to happen, and Christ warned us that prophecies could fail. Now. He meant that, to be a warning that, hey, the good prophecies could fail. But also, as a ray of hope, hey, them bad prophecies could fail too. Meaning, you work to make the good prophecies happen and work to make the bad prophecies not happen. But with the dumb down of the church to get your money every week, that's all they care about. They have a money angle. It's like, I am qualified to be an ordained minister. I took all the classes 30 years ago. I just didn't finish it up. I didn't take the little test. I took the practice test. I passed it. Okay? But I didn't take the actual test and pay the money to get the actual legal ordination because it was imposed upon my spirit not to do it. And then now you look in these end times. Finally, I have an answer why. Because for your preacher, your pastor to stay in operation, he had to sign a contract to keep his tax exempt status and keep his church open. He had to agree with the government that when shit hits the fan, you're going to get led to a FEMA camp by his trusting arm. See there? I could never do that. I couldn't agree to that. So if I was a pastor, right now I would already either be dead, mysteriously disappeared, or criminalized and incarcerated somewhere. You see? So that's why I couldn't go amongst them, because I'd already be gunned down. I couldn't tell you guys nothing now. And maybe there's nobody else going to tell you. When I sit and I try to tell somebody something and it's the truth, it's everything that nobody will tell you. They won't tell you in the church. They won't tell you this shit. And then, he's going to look at me like I'm crazy. Call me crazy in so many words. Shake his head at me and, and it's like talking to a child who has been convinced that the sky is yellow. And you can't make them understand, no, that's blue. That's blue, baby. It's yellow. My preacher said the sky's yellow. It's what it's like. It's like it really it's I can't even find words for how it makes me feel. But it wrenches me up, when I try to tell somebody Facts. The reality of this. That you're in a spirit scan. You're being scanned. You're a premonition of your potential existence in the real world. You laid everything down to get into this mechanism. The wealth of the wicked, meaning those who do not graduate here, is laid up for the just, meaning those who graduate. You laid it down before you came here. The meek shall inherit the earth, the real earth. But even if they were inheriting this mechanism, okay, the earth and this mechanism that we're on right now, it's a mechanism, it's an earth that has been restored to a restore point, okay, without the contaminants in it. Those who needed nuclear power and they needed to steal the coolant, the oil out of the ground, which caused all this stuff we're enduring now, to sell it. They needed everybody's money, so they needed to start banks. They needed power over other people because they can't control their own urges and they can't resist the sub-spirits. You know, the spirits that, we mistakenly believe are like devils. Well, devils aren't the fallen angels then, fool. You need to separate the two. Because the fallen angels have bodies. The sub-spirits that are part of this mechanism, they're artificial intelligence. They didn't know that they weren't even supposed to have bodies. So they were so jealous of Lucifer and the fallen angels when they were having sex with them women. Oh, we can't have sex with women, so we need to sabotage them then. Sabotage God and their conjoined in time agenda for the tribulation. You see? Was this a big money thing? No, this is a purification thing. Do you see this earth right now, what they do to it? You don't know that there was an invention given to somebody by a sub-spirit that mutinized against the mutinizers and gave it to them anyway, where you could have power from the ionosphere for free. All you got to do is have the invention. If you had invested in the invention instead of like a car, right, you'd have free power the rest of your life. Your cars could be running off of electricity, free energy right now. Yeah, but they came in and they made marijuana illegal. They made it illegal to research hydrogen cars, all this stuff. 100 years ago, they violated your rights so that they could be, they could corner the market on everything. They could sell you alcohol. They could sell you drugs, the sorceries of man, which they're lacing with hard street drugs. Okay, they're lacing them with cocaine, heroin, meth, and they're putting nanobots in them. Yeah, oh yeah, you need to research nanobots for all the crazy things that you got in your body now between the GMO food and the pills, right? And they want you to, you get vaccinated now. That's to get you the initial poison to make the GMO foods work right, to make you sick, have some kind of illness or requirement for their pills. It's a big money thing. Okay? Now, they're controlled by sub-spirits. Sub-spirits can't have sex because they don't have bodies, so they're always causing suffering, unnecessary suffering. That's how they get off. They didn't know that they're going to be time looped as everything they caused to suffer, just like those that they controlled to cause that suffering through. Okay? So it's like they cause all this suffering. You know when somebody's controlled by a sub-spirit. They're like self-absorbed, they're self-serving. It's all about them. They see things from their own angle. A lot of them are lazy. They don't want to work with their own two hands, which is the requirement being in this mechanism. You acquire stuff, skating on working with your own two hands, like God said do, and you will be time looped as slaves to repay this mechanism. You can't deal dope and get out of working. You can't just because you inherited billions get out of working. It's like you can't go be a star, but you've never worked a day in your life. No, you have to have paid your dues where you worked with your own two hands. You proved that you would do it. You see? Because there's a lot here who won't. And we can't have them in the real world. You see? Because there's no money system there. There's no government there. Everybody's just a supreme entity that carries their own. They work the land. They make things happen. We don't have to eat meat there. We don't have to kill there. Our bodies are different. You see? We actually, if we ate meat, we'd be repulsed by it. We eat from the Mother Earth. You see, and it's always replenished. There's no stolen oil out of the ground, so there's no stolen coolant. So the iron, the core is not overheating and magnetizing to the sun to cause the earth to flip over. You see, these are prophecies that didn't have to happen 100 years ago. The wrong entities came into power. They were weak. They were subhumans controlled by subspirits. They made marijuana illegal. They defied the Constitution when they did that, violating all of your rights. We should all file a class action lawsuit against them and refuse to take their pills and drink their alcohol until they make marijuana legal. Yeah, and boycott everything that they did make legal because they couldn't find an angle with marijuana. They couldn't scientifically control marijuana. See, they can scientifically control the pills that go in your body. They can put nanobots in them. They can put psychotics in them. They can make you triggerable by a word, by a news story, by a song, yeah, or by the Wi-Fi signals and phone signals that are always flying through your head. Just two of them cross each other at the same time in the right part of your cerebrum, and blam, you've been triggered. Yeah. You don't even know what they're doing. You don't have a clue that they're doing this. You see? And these are things that we were warned about in the Bible. We were warned of these things, but the Bible has been taken and it's been religionized. The Bible is a science book, fool. It's also a clause. It has all the clauses of the contract we agreed to. You know? You do unto others as you want done to you in the time loops of justice. After you die, if you negatively affect them. If you don't negatively affect them, you don't have to worry about being time looped as them being negatively affected by you. Understand that. But if you negatively affect something, well, expect not to exist. Okay? How does the non-existence work? The wages of sin is in the wages of non-graduation of the spirit scan, offending in the spirit scan, the wages of sin is eternal spiritual death. All right? So that means that you don't graduate to the real earth. But there's also a crash point coming for this mechanism, this planet, this solar system. And then it's going to have a restore point where everything is taken backwards in time, a time manipulation, without the contaminants in it that caused the need for it. There'll be no sub-spirits controlling anything there because there'll be a dimension out in the time loops with the spirits of the humans that they controlled here. That's where Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, Muhammad, all them freaks are. That's where they are. Your current dictators, the O'Neills or whatever, the freaking America. It's like anyone on the planet that wants to control other people, they're controlled by a subhuman, sub-spirit. Okay, they're a subhuman controlled by a sub-spirit. They can't control their own urge, to control other things. You see, they have this overpowering need to control something. They have this overpowering need for more than what other people have, even though they won't work for it. They have this overpowering need to cause suffering or pedophilia or rape or murder or vandalism or rioting or looting, all the things that negatively affect other creations in this mechanism. You see, they need to cause it because they can't do anything else. You see, nice sounding motor, huh? That's in a pickup truck too. That's a nice unit. So it's like your preacher won't tell you the truth and you're paying him big time. I'm starving over here. I'm homeless. I'm separated from my wife, but she still has to help me because the government won't give me enough of my FICA back to survive on. They was more willing to take it every week for years and years and years. But when I need it back, and they won't give me my driver's license back after not having one for 32 years, so I could at least go get a driving job. I had somebody willing to give me a driving job, an awesome driving job. Was going to take a chance on me with a fresh license. All I had to do was get it, right? Was going to take a chance on me, even though I'm on SSI because I'm all messed up. Going to take a chance on me. I'd be making more in a week than what I get in a month. And these crazed, demonic, white devil bitches collaborated together with the monster who pretended to be my lawyer to stop me from getting my license back. They have determined that I can't have a life. Then they took my food stamps, so that I have even less money now. It's like I'm being starved out on this planet, and I'll tell the truth. What's that say about you, right? But hey, you saw that Facebook video by now, where the person's sitting there with the sign, homeless need money for weed, drugs, and alcohol, and everybody stopped throwing money in this shit. That person sitting there with the homeless little girl laying on his lap. How long did it finally take for a woman to stop, out of all the women to walk by, for a woman to stop and give him some money? Right? How long did it take? Yeah. See? It's part of the prophecy. For an evil man, many will die. But for a good man, nobody will suffer. Same prophecy, different word, same generation. Their feet run quick to do evil, but to do good they will not move. Yeah, that's what's happening here. That's why I can't get help to build an animal sanctuary, but someone else can get you to donate to their frivolous bullshit. Yeah, they want to buy them a new Xbox. Oh, they need a camera. Or they need what was that everybody pulled in to buy this guy recently online, man? Like he needed it, like he needs a hole in his head, man. What are those things that fly? A drone, yeah. You'll buy somebody a drone before you'll buy a motherfucker like me a sandwich. And the doobie that I need like you need your pain pill. I need it because the pain pills make me sicker. The pain pills don't deflect the cancer, okay? And it's like, before you will help me, you'll run over there, pull your credit card out, and help this dumb little spoiled motherfucker that won't work. Get him a drone. It's like, get you a job, motherfucker. I worked for what I had. Damn, I didn't have much, but at least I worked for it. Damn. Fucking freaks, man. I ain't got no musical equipment. Supposedly a musician. Last moments of my life just being stole from me from every direction. Yeah, all because I won't sell lives. I could have a church right now. I could have got ordained. I could be part of their little clique that's going to turn you over to FEMA. Yeah, they don't nobody care though. That's the problem. They don't nobody care about what needs to be cared about. What should be cared about. And, I hate to break it to you, but you have non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory, and even your thoughts are recorded. You are gauged by the heart, what your thoughts are, what conceived your actions or your omission. Okay? So you judge me as unworthy, while you judge them as worthy. I remember that. I remember my own mother taking food off my plate to send to Jimmy Swaggart so he could buy coke and prostitutes. Yeah, I remember starving as a kid and watching that motherfucker cry on TV and wanting so bad to just jump in the car, go drive out there and take him to a motel and put a wig on him, make him beat them bitches now. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck you for a while because I starved for you when I was a kid. There are a bunch of charlatans that lie to you, won't tell you the truth, won't tell you you're in a mechanism, you're being gauged for real world existence viability. What will you be if you were allowed to exist there? You can't get out of this thing. The key of David is the blood of the clone of God, Jesus Christ, the Son of Man, the clone of God, God in the flesh. His own blood was shed for you, so to buy you out of this mechanism. But you won't do nothing for him. He needs hands. He needs animals rescued because they torturing him to defy him, to show that they have more power over mankind than him. That not even the churches will fight against them. The churches will go picket fags because again, your preachers won't tell you the truth. They won't properly translate nothing, so you don't know what the effeminate means. So you think the effeminate means fags, queers. No, that was talked about in a different part. The effeminate of the end times are these Muslim Islamic infidels who deny the deity of God's own clone, his son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, trample the blood of it so that they can shed more blood for its sin, right? And they have sex with children that they have desexualized by mutilating their genitals while they were 6-year-old little girls. They have sex with them 2 years later, okay? In the name of Allah. They stone their women because they're so effeminate that they moaned on somebody else's dick. Oh my God. Oh, you little effeminate little... Oh, you're so tiny. You're such a tiny little spirit, aren't you? Huh. If you're spiritually leagued with somebody else, you are spiritually leagued with them. Okay? So then if somebody else makes their earth suit that they're in right now, it gives it some pleasure. If you're spiritually leagued with them, that's stronger than that physical pleasure. And you should be open with each other about it to keep it on the level of a regular sin, a base sin, fornication, instead of letting it escalate via deception into a compound sin that gives them power over your home, dividing your house. Yeah, so people think it's evil to have an open relationship. It wasn't evil for Abraham and Sarah, and she was blessed with a barren womb during that era when they were traveling through the evil parts of the world that are like the whole world now. Just the whole world's like that. You go somewhere, they've got the money system broke, so, your woman's got to work, and then everywhere she goes, there's molesters. Yeah. Okay? Abraham and Sarah went through what's the equivalent of what's gang-infested territory. Now, she had to give up some ass. Abraham used to have to lie and say that Sarah was his sister so that they would just fuck her and send them on their way. Because if he told the truth and said that she was his wife, you need to study history. You'll see for yourself this is true. They would kill him and take his wife and rape her to death. You see? It's like you don't understand nothing. It's just because if they stuffed all these little details of history that you're supposed to study to back up so you understand the context of what was happening. If they put it in there, it would be too big. You wouldn't be able to read it. You're supposed to take the initiative to try and find out as much about your contract and your graduation from here as you care about how to operate your latest little gadget. You read the book on that, learned how to tweak all the stuff on it. Huh. Why don't you learn how to tweak your life here to benefit the right side? You see? Because some of you are going to be way more powerful than me. They managed to snuff me out. Don't nobody like me. They look at me and they instantly hate me. They hear my voice, it's like, oh God, it's that guy again. They managed to trigger their minds where now even my music is repulsive to them. That's why I don't play music no more. Don't nobody want to hear it. So it's like, hey, okay, well, they can have that. I'm only here an hour anyway. You see? I might get lucky and get to work time loops. That's what I'm pushing for. Then I get revenge on all the musicians that wouldn't pull me up before it got this bad. Where mankind was, their minds are triggered now, where they can trigger them not to like me. Yeah, they can trigger them when they see somebody like me. They just have a repulsive reaction to it. You see? So it don't matter how attractive I am or how ugly I am. It don't matter how nice I am or how mean I am. The reaction is always going to be the same. You see, I don't know how I got off into that. Because this is not about me, it's about you. It's about your preachers and you getting robbed. And I know I got angry and I put my side in there. Hey, I'm suffering due to this too. You're suffering due to a lack of knowledge and wisdom that they won't share with you. And I'm suffering. Because, hey, if I just had half of their following and support, who knows the things I could accomplish on this planet, right? I set all the proper examples. I don't have Facebook. I won't work Twitter, while You know, people are using it to recruit children to commit terrorism. You know, it's like as long as there's allowing those social media sites are allowing them to use them for bloodshed of God's people, His Christians, His end time elect. I won't use Twitter as long as Twitter can be used by ISIS. I'm sorry. I did a few things that I had to do to open up a GoFundMe page. You know, and like get the Twitter. But you can look at my Twitters. Half of them are deleted. More than half of them. You know, because I have some music act things I was trying to do, different media stuff. I can't put it all under one thing because some of it's rap, you know. And if you're not into rap, you're into metal, or you know, you're into my country or my jazz. You're not gonna want to be exposed to the rap. You see, and if you're just into rap, well, you ain't gonna want to be exposed to the country and the metal and the gospel and all that other stuff, you know. So it's out of consideration to uh, potential fans. You see that I tried to break stuff up. And then it created a big mess where now, you know, taking it down has taken years and I still don't have it all down. Because I didn't work it all myself. And then, you know, when I decided I'm going to take it down, and, you know, the kids who were working with me just go on bail on me. You know, fuck it, here's the password. Do what you're going to do, man. You know, they don't understand. Sometimes it's a time to be silent. You know, can't always be out there yelling. People ain't going to listen. Sometimes you just gotta shut up, and people, they notice, hey, wow, it got silent over there. What's happening? You see? So it's like, yeah, they're over there killing shit and using social media to do it. And I set the example by, okay, well, I can't, I'm not on that end. You know, I'm not getting lumped in with them. I'm sorry, I'm not sharing that spirit memory, that non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory. Okay, I'm not sharing it. You don't see me in the mainstream rapping for the same reason. Yeah, yeah. For those of you who don't know, I could be rapping. I can't do nothing else. Hey, you know the joke of it is, I can't even rap good. I just have some kind of flow or something, or maybe people just want to make a joke out of me, or maybe it's just a jab from the subspears. We'll give you what you don't want, but you can't have a deal where you can work your real music, you know, your music, you know, your creativity. You can't work that. If you're gonna be in music, you're gonna do it under our terms. Well, it's not your craft. Little subspirits and little subhumans controlled by them. It's God, Christ, and Lucifer's craft, because this is their mechanism. We're like what? We're in the third dimension, and this thing is 12 dimensions deep, sitting in the mother realm in the lab, God's lab right now. So what are we like? Is it 9 dimensions deep or 10 dimensions deep? You see? Huh. I got a good one for you. Huh. What's heavier? A ton of metal or 2,000 pounds of wood? This was recently on a show my wife was watching, and I walked through her living room and I heard the girl say it. You know, it was part of a joke sequence, you know, set up for a joke. And I just like, you know, see, my mind works quick. I like, you know, hey, they're both the same, but how many people, you know, their minds would have to work there for a little while to understand that it's the same. Because they've allowed it to be stolen from their mind. The seed gets stolen. You know, the things I share with you are going to get stolen. You're going to leave this video, those of you that you took something from it, and it's going to get stolen from you within a day, unless you protect it. Okay? You got to put some straw over it, because the birds are going to come and eat it. But those are evil birds. They're not God birds. And then, you know, the charlatans can keep lying to you. They can keep associating God Allah to, you know, shedding blood because they won't accept his sacrifice to keep David. They can keep associating Lucifer to pedophilia, even though he doesn't look at children like that at all. Our Christ never would have said, "Suffer the children to come unto me," knowing that Lucifer's coming here to impersonate him first before he gets here. Christ will never endanger children like that. Okay? He's not a pedophile. So he's not going to turn a child over to a pedophile. Okay? And that's part of why this infidelic religion denies his deity as the son, or, for lack of a better word back then, his clone. You see? That's why he was a son, because they didn't have the concept of cloning back then. So Christ tried to tell people, I am the Son of Man. You know? You see? Tried to let them know, that, hey, I'm not the Son of God. In the sense that, because it's like he is spirit. You see? It's easy to comprehend with your spirit mind. It's harder to wrap your little human mind around, especially when you consider that we only use like 10% of our brains. You see? So I'm sitting here. I've been rambling on for 20 minutes trying to pick up where I left off. I don't know, it was probably 20 minutes ago now. Because I felt like there was something in the spirit that needed to come out for you, and I can't pull it out. So I'm gonna leave it at this. The last 20 minutes was just rambling, I guess, because you know where I left off, comprehensive thought, and I started in this thing where, hey, I'm trying to come back to this, waiting for the guitar to come back around, It's like I'm trying to come back around to it, and I'm just getting further away from it. But there was something there, it was like it clicked, and it's like, and then the theft of the word sometimes can come and take it as I'm trying to deliver it, and I don't know. I guess this experience with this person, acting like I'm evil for knowing what I know. It kind of hurt. Acting like I'm a Satanist. When if you're a real Satanist, then he's coming back pretending to be Jesus Christ, so you'd want to be doing good stuff. So you'd be like one of the best Christians on the planet, right? To fulfill his rules, you'd be a good servant of Christ. But it's like the Soul Spirits had Aleister Crowley, Anton LaVey, the Black Bible wrote. They communicated with Aleister Crowley. They gave him just enough fake knowledge for people to take him serious. They're working shit right now based on that sabotaged knowledge. Okay, there is a point where the knowledge goes off in the other direction, and they don't realize it because they've grown overconfident, confident, and complacent. You see, so they're just going to do, because it's been working so far, right? So they've reached this point where now it's going off the other way, but they don't realize it yet, and they won't catch it till it's too late. We're about to endure. We've already been enduring magnetic polar shift, and when that catches the Earth itself like a clutch and flips it, there's going to be a lot of devastation here, and this is where the real danger of these nuclear plants and a third of the Earth, the ocean being dead, and it's full of radiation. When the planet flips and that ocean is getting splashed into all other water, it's going down into their deep underground military bases, because they've been fracking and they've compromised the solidity of the Earth. So this is going to cause, those who caused this, they're going to be hiding underground, and their deep underground bunkers are going to crack open, and they're going to flood with boiling hot lava and water, and they're going to fry. If they've gone out into space, they're going to get hit by rocks. If they're hiding on the moon, there will be blood on the moon. Okay? There's nowhere they can go. God warns that the perpetrators don't get away with this. Okay? He warns you, don't steal my coolant out of the ground, the oil. They did it anyway. They believe sub-spirits and subhumans over God. And now, comeuppance is here. Our only hope is Lucifer coming here pretending to be Jesus. That's our only hope. If we don't get him, we don't get no intervention, period. Because when he gets here, he's showing up a little late. There are only a few months left for him to do his thing. He knows his time is short. So he ain't going to want to be fucking it up. You see? He ain't going to be needing nobody to try and fuck it up for him. It's already pretty fucked up. Okay, so that's not coming around. The guitar's not coming back around, y'all. It just went off in the left field and it's just playing. So I don't have that little tidbit. There's in other stuff, though. Everything's there. I've told you everything. I didn't keep none of this to myself. I shared it. Mainly so that I can't get accused of not doing my job in case it was my job. Because, hell, I don't know. Maybe I got called upon to fill in for somebody that wussed out or got killed or took out. Got incarcerated or by some other means, impoverished or made homeless or something else happened to them, right? They just got scared. Because it is scary to share this information. And then the response from people, how monstrous they are when you tell them the truth. Because this is the generation that wants you to lie to us. Tell us lies, don't prophesy the truth. That's sad. It's like, because I'd want to know the truth. I want to know the truth. I hate deception. Maybe that's why I do this. It's because I hate lies and I hate people making money off people from lying to them. I hate people taking your money and they won't even tell you the truth. And they got you so cocked up, man, so fucked up, that when you see somebody suffering like me, you walk right by me. You won't even give me a sandwich. Yeah. That's some shit, ain't it? Alright, y'all. Need to put your preacher in check. Or just, find a different one. I don't know. Where you gonna find one at? It's kind of this thing where the sub-spirits only allow those to be in power who are compliant. And that's even in the church now. Especially the Catholic Church.